America is deeply divided. There are only two sides to every issue, and there is no interest in finding common ground, not even with members of your own family. But as the 2024 presidential election looms on the horizon, there has never been a more important time to have the necessary conversation.
Welcome to the necessary conversation. We've been off for a couple of weeks. We've had some travel. We've had other life things. You guys went to go see a show, right? All of you? Without me?
Wicked.
Yeah.
How was it?
Wicked. Loved it.
Was it wicked? See what I did there?
It was wicked.
Welcome to the Necessary Conversation. This is a podcast where myself and my sister, both liberal, left-leaning citizens of these United States, have an hour-long conversation with our parents, Bob and Mary Lou, who are beyond right-wing, I would say. They are MAGA, Maja. They are
MAGA.
QAnon. They are all of it. And we talk about the four biggest political issues
bringing
of
the bloodbath.
Oh, God.
Well, we're going to get to the bloodbath. That is one of today's topics, Trump's bloodbath. But before we begin, we're going to do something that we do every week. We take a question from somebody who listens to the show, and we can't thank everybody.
I got a rant first.
Before the question?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. I just want to say thanks to everybody who listens to the show. We sincerely appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind, get somebody else to listen to it too. That would help us out. Thank you very much. All right, Dad, rant away.
Rant. We still have 3 big, fat, black, undeserving prosecutors chasing Trump and a wild goose chase. This is what happens when you have DEI, which means they aren't qualified to run a car wash, and they're making policy. Big, fat, black people.
Okay. I would like to interject and thank everyone that DM'd me, because there was a lot this time. One person goes, "Are you quitting the show? What's going on?
Yeah.
We need you back." So there's a lot of that.
For some people, your disappearance, Mom, was like the Kate Middleton disappearance, perhaps. And people were jumping to conclusions, just like we all did with Kate Middleton. It turns out she just has a little cancer, no big deal. Now,
I'm sad. Yes, it is a big deal. You know it is. Everyone is sad about it. The people that make fun of her should rot in hell. And we wish her the best. Good health, good healing.
All right. Now let's move on to our question from a listener. Are you ready? Hello?
Yes.
Anyone with me?
I'm
Okay.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Down below, it says this meeting is being recorded. Well, yes. Do I have to click OK to that?
Yeah, you do. Just click it.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. Here's the question.
Hi, Kultgen family. My name is Nicole, and I'm from Nebraska. And I had an interesting philosophical question I'd like to ask for everyone. I was wondering if you considered human life sacred or not. And if you did or didn't, why do you think that way? I also was wondering if you consider non-human animal life sacred. Maybe which animals, and why or why not? Thanks so much. I love the show.
There you have it. Let's begin. Haley, is human life sacred?
Yeah, I think all life is sacred. I don't eat meat. I am newly vegan, trying to not even eat animal byproducts. Yeah, I love...
What about honey?
I don't really eat honey.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know. Does that kill bees?
No, but it's an animal product. That's my one exception. I'm also vegan, but I
feel
do
like
eat
I'm
honey.
as long as it's not like, hurting them
Sure.
in some capacity, I'll eat it.
All right.
I guess you're stealing their food source. I don't fucking know. Yes,
Yeah,
human life is sacred. I have empathy.
She don't know.
I have a respect for humanity. I think that there is still good in the world. I have children and a family, so yes, I hold life sacred.
All right, Mom. Is human life sacred?
Yes, all life is sacred.
But you do partake in the murder of a lot of life to eat what you eat.
I don't.
You do. You buy the product of murder.
I don't. We're not going to get into this.
That's what the question is. What do you mean we're not going to get into it?
No, it's not.
The question.
The question was, do you hold life sacred?
Human life
whether
sacred?
It's human or animal. And yes, I do.
Okay.
But going back to the beginning of time, prehistoric, you have to hunt to have food so that human life can be sustained.
Right.
But you
All life
don't.
is,
You don't
all life
now.
is sacred.
They
Well,
literally 3D print meat. You don't have to kill anything.
okay. And when you guys were saying you're vegan now,
Yeah.
Haley was trying to describe honey and bees, and I don't know. That's exactly right. You guys started vegetarian. Now you're all vegan. When you grew up, you had Happy Meals from McDonald's. So that's kind of funny too.
And then when I really grew up, I had cancer in my
It's a
face.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
conscious decision is
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah.
And then I made you all organic food each time you came to our house. And
Yeah,
then you
it's great.
decided that vaping, marijuana, or however you inhale it or whatever you do is very, very healthy for your body.
That's a plant. Dad, do you
Oh,
believe human life is
bullshit.
sacred? I assume no.
I assume you're correct. I believe that all American life is
Okay.
sacred. Anybody else on the planet, I couldn't give a shit less.
Okay. So an arbitrary border or legal scenario, all of which is made up. That's what you
No,
base your sacred life on.
an
Yeah.
arbitrary way of life
Okay.
is what I consider
Yeah.
sacred. I consider the United States of America's way of life sacred.
Okay.
And any human being that lives in that environment is sacred. Any human being who does not live in that is killing our planet, and they need to be exterminated.
All
or
right.
trying to get in over the border the wrong
Yeah.
way.
And
I have no respect at all for people in China or
Okay.
India or any of that shit.
what about animals?
Who?
Animals? Non-human
Well, I got to eat
entities?
some animals.
We have
Okay.
to eat.
It's just
So
fall.
animals not
That's
sacred?
by the wayside. But
Yeah.
you know what's funny? Those
Mhm.
animals are raised to be ate.
Well, I
Eaten.
mean, we've obviously created those industries.
And you know what? We wouldn't
Don't
be
yell.
eating as many animals if we get rid of half the fucking people.
All right.
Okay.
So
My
there's
take.
my answer.
Thank you for your answer. My take on
No,
this is okay. Go ahead. What?
no, I said no. I do
Oh.
not respect
All right.
human beings.
Okay.
My answer is nothing is sacred, including life. In my opinion, I don't ascribe any religious meaning to any of this, and therefore it cannot be sacred. What I think is important is consciousness, which I think all animals have in varying degrees. We, of course, at least on this planet, have the highest level of it, and I do think that that binds us all together in some one way or another. That to me is what is important. I wouldn't call it sacred again because I don't believe it adheres to any kind of religious doctrine or anything or has any religious connotation, at least to me. Thank you very much for your question. If you are listening to this and you would like to send a question, you just record it in 1 minute or shorter as an audio clip. Email that audio clip to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com, and I go through them all and pick the best ones. Now, let's get into the show, shall we? Topic number 1, Trump did not get rid of ISIS. On
Yes,
November
he did.
25th, 2019, Trump claimed, quote, "As you know, we captured 100% of the ISIS caliphate. When I took office, we had almost nothing. It was as though they were just forming again, and now it's 100%. But Friday night, there was a terrorist attack at Crocus City Hall, a popular concert venue complex near Moscow that left 137 people dead and even more wounded after assailants stormed the venue with guns and incendiary devices. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack. 11 suspects involved in the attack were detained in the Bryansk region and taken to Moscow, where they are now in custody of Russia's investigative committee. Earlier Saturday, Putin told the Russian people that the perpetrators had, quote, tried to hide and move toward Ukraine, where, according to preliminary data, a window was prepared for them on the Ukrainian side to cross the border. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said miserable Russian President Vladimir Putin waited overnight before publicly addressing Russians, only to accuse Ukraine of having a hand in the terror attack at a concert hall near Moscow, a claim Ukraine strongly denies. Leaders around the world, such as the French, Israeli, and Turkish presidents, have expressed their condolences and condemnation of the onslaught. The United States, quote, strongly condemns the shooting, according to the White House and Security State of Antony Blinken. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres also denounced the attack, stressing that ISIS is a significant global threat at a news conference Saturday. Now, on March 7th, go back in time a few weeks. The U.S. warned its own citizens in Russia to avoid large gatherings in Moscow, specifically concerts, based on credible intelligence about terrorist plans. This information was also delivered to the Kremlin, but it seems that it was ignored by Putin. Haley, do you think this was ISIS?
I don't know.
They're claiming it was, and they have video of the event that they have now released online.
I haven't seen the videos. So there's like literally video of ISIS kind of like, look what we did, haha. Shit like that.
It seems like the video was definitely taken by one of the people with guns. At least that video. There are other like security videos and stuff that are getting leaked too now. But
okay, I haven't seen it, but if that is true, then I suppose yes, that's ISIS.
Mom, do you think it was ISIS?
Probably. If they're claiming it was them, why wouldn't it be? But if you don't think that's not going to happen in our United States too, then y'all are stupid.
And then as far as you're saying Trump didn't get rid of ISIS, he fucking did too, and Joe Biden brought it back in Afghanistan.
Okay. Well, clearly he didn't get rid of ISIS because they had just killed 137 people with machine guns in a concert hall.
They stuck their head in the fucking hole. They weren't going to be seen again until Joe Biden became president, and then they started to reinforce themselves again. And by the way,
gave them money.
They are from where? Ukraine.
Huh?
And you should not be supporting the fucking Ukraine.
Okay. So when
if I were Putin, I would retaliate on the Ukraine.
So Trump did not get rid of ISIS, even by your own admission. Then,
yes,
if you say they stuck their head in the sand, that means they were still around, still in existence.
They weren't armed. They weren't anything.
And he got rid of all their funds.
And where did they come from? They didn't come from the Middle East.
Yeah.
They came from the fucking Ukraine.
I mean, that's what Putin is saying.
My contention is they may not even be ISIS. They might be Ukrainians.
Ukrainians.
All right. Might be Ukrainians. Let me ask you this. Now, we're having this. We're having this report.
South.
We're having this. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're having a report coming out now.
I don't give a shit. You're getting it from Joe Scarborough.
Okay.
The United States knew that something like this was going to happen. Clearly, they did warn U.S. citizens, and this information was delivered to the Kremlin. Why do you think Putin completely ignored this information?
Because now he's got the Ukraine by the balls.
What does that have to do with ignoring the information about terrorist attacks?
Because he allowed it to happen.
Now they are
now the Ukrainians are the bad guys. You don't get anything.
Yeah, that could be. Okay, be nice.
But that clearly is not true. If these are members of ISIS, they're not Ukrainian.
I think
yes, they are.
I think it said they were ISIS, but then they went to
They're
flee
from Ukraine.
Back into Ukraine.
And they're just calling them ISIS so that they can get it off their back. And I'm telling you right now, the Ukrainians are the most evil fuckers on planet Earth, and we need to annihilate them.
Okay.
Why do you think that?
Because everything they do is crooked.
Such as?
Fucking Zelensky's a fucking billionaire now.
How much?
Thanks to the United States.
Do you think Putin is a billionaire?
Hell yes.
Do you think Trump is?
Yes.
So then what's wrong with being a billionaire?
Huh?
Then what problem do you have with being a billionaire? These are two people that you admire.
Because Putin became a billionaire over decades. So did Donald Trump. Zelensky became a billionaire over 1 year of war.
So it's the timeline for you. You became a billionaire too fast. You like slow billionaires.
No, it's how you earned it. And Zelensky didn't earn it. Zelensky is an evil piece of shit that needs to be exterminated.
All right. So you then are believing the propaganda that this has something to do with the Ukrainian side.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
So that makes sense to me. Mom, what are you looking up there? You're Googling something?
I'm trying to Google how much money the United States has given to Ukraine.
Here, let me see if I can help you find it.
It's about $47 billion.
Alexa, how much US dollars has been given to Ukraine?
75 billion.
I don't know that one. She said
75.
I think Putin sat on it because he can't wait to launch World War III.
It's coming, bitch. Told you.
billion?
75 billion. Yes. But
Jesus Christ.
you're saying
My
you think he wants to
God.
launch World War III. So you think he will use this as an excuse to what? Start war
To
with
attack.
Ukraine? I mean, he's already doing it.
He's going
Who's
to
he gonna?
attack Ukraine, and then he's going to attack.
He's already doing that.
Poland.
He's gonna rope Poland into
Poland?
this somehow.
Why Poland?
He's going to do exactly what everybody thinks was going to happen in World War II. And he knows the weakest people are the NATO alliances.
Okay.
These new people that came into NATO, they're fucking toast.
And you're for him. You're a supporter.
100%.
Interesting.
Here's how I look at it.
He did make a statement.
I either want the world run by the Russians or the Chinese, and I'll pick the Russians.
What?
Why not the United
States?
States?
You want that?
Well, we're going to have to fight to do it, and I don't think your generation has the balls for it.
My generation. I'm 47 years old. I've aged
That's
out of the fighting game.
Yeah.
In terms of
And
at
you
least
know what?
military. I mean,
And
are
you
you
know what?
suggesting I go try to sign up for the,
And you know
the Navy
what?
or something?
And you know what? You raised a generation of 20-year-olds that can't fight their way out of a paper sack.
Okay. But you raised
That's
us.
your fault.
So ultimately it lies with you.
It's your
Okay.
fault.
Let's move on to our second topic.
I didn't raise you two to be pussies, but you are.
Okay, I just Googled.
Yeah.
Googled. You are correct. The Joe Biden administration and the U.S. Congress
There you go.
have directed 75
Smoking
billion in assistance to Ukraine.
You lift the covers, Joe Biden.
Well, the Democrats are better with money than the Republicans.
Further, you'll find out that Obama runs Joe.
Okay.
Okay. We'll get to it a little bit later, but this
All
is
right,
just
I'm
more
done.
evidence that the Democrats are better than Republicans with money. Let's move on to topic number 2. Are Americans happy? The United States fell out of the top 20 happiest countries in Gallup's newest World Happiness Report. The report, in partnership with the Oxford Wellbeing Research Center, the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, and the WHR's editorial board, showed the U.S. ranked 23rd among 143 countries in happiness. The U.S. dropped 8 spots after coming in 15th in the 2023 World Happiness Report. Gallup has published the World Happiness Report annually since 2012, and this is the lowest the U.S. has ranked. Why do you think we dropped on this list, Haley?
Where do we begin? Healthcare sucks. People are overworked, underpaid. All of our fucking rights are being stripped away. You literally just you wake up every morning kind of questioning, like, can I afford to live anymore? I am worried about my own children who will all have college educations coming out and not being able to afford to buy their own home. And I find that to be frightening. I know lots of adults. I know lots of adults who are still renting property, who pay as much for a fucking apartment in Texas as I do for my home that we bought almost 15 years ago. So you just literally can't afford to live anymore. So there's no happiness. You're literally just scraping by to fucking pay the rent.
Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
Why aren't you happy?
That's what
you
we're
voted
asking.
for Joe Biden. Now you're getting what you paid for.
Well, okay,
You're
let me
not
ask you
happy?
this. Are you happier during Joe Biden's presidency than you were during Trump's?
Who?
Haley, he's asking Haley.
Or at least experiencing like less stress, less anxiety, that type of shit.
I
just contradicted.
So I feel like now
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy because I mean, I'm probably not going to get an abortion, but you know, reproductive rights don't exist for women, certainly in my state, probably on a federal level very soon. Gay people are probably not going to be recognized as legally married if Donald Trump is reelected. There are just a lot of things right now that are at stake in terms of liberties, freedoms that
wasn't
terrify people.
You're trying to throw it back on Trump, and that wasn't the question. The question is,
why I blame the reverberation of what he fucking did for what is happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait a minute.
Mom.
4 years ago.
Wait, no,
Haley,
hang on, Mom.
Okay.
I want to ask this question to each of us. Why do you think America has dropped on that list?
Because of
No,
the misery we've been inflicted upon us from Joe fucking Biden and Barack
It's-
Obama.
I'm talking.
Yeah, let Mom
Um,
answer, then you can go, Dad.
No, I already went.
No patriotism. People are barely scraping by. Inflation. They can't even buy.
No morals.
They can't buy their meals. There's no two-parent in the family anymore at all. The crime is so high now, it is ridiculous. The border's unsecure, so people get fear that, like in New York now,
there will be blood.
In New York, they're taking over not vacant houses that are up for sale. Squatters are coming in, illegals. They're taking houses over.
All right.
And
So,
there's
Mom,
nothing
you
we
think
can
it's
do.
largely political then?
100%.
Yes.
I don't. I mean, whatever. Politics and the United States kind of political engine are just one part of how this society functions, and it's a big part of it for sure. But it's only one part. I think not only politics. What's going on? There's some kind of audio cutting in. Is somebody watching a TV show there? Somewhere?
No.
I was talking to Kitty.
No, I think it may be coming from Haley. Anyway, I was saying
No,
that
I have nothing.
I think
There's nothing going on in here.
All right. I think the entire system is broken, and we all feel that. And so there is a sense of hopelessness in the face
So
of.
you somehow think you've got a better system coming? I
Me?
don't think so.
I've got a million better systems. They'll
No,
never
you
be
don't.
implemented because
don't
they
have one.
get rid of money. Yeah, I
You
do.
don't have one.
I do.
No, you're full of shit.
I do. It's called a
You're full of
wealth
shit.
ceiling. This is my idea.
Let him listen.
Every human being can make $10 million a year, period. Any more that you would make over that gets redistributed into a big pie that, as long as you are not convicted of a crime and have a job, you get a piece of that pie for free.
Communist.
Call it what you want. You asked if I had a system. I do. The reason I think people are unhappy.
Your philosophy is perfect for Putin.
All right, great. The reason I think that we have dropped on the list.
That. You don't even get it.
Thank you.
You're too fucking ignorant to even understand that.
The reason that I think we've dropped on the list is because I think we can all feel, especially good one, Dad. Nice singer. I think the reason that we dropped on this list is because we are in this election year where we have no good choice. No one wants to vote for either of these fucking people. And all of us see that that means the next 4 years, whoever wins is going to be another complete fucking shit show as the slow deterioration, or maybe very fast deterioration, of America continues into really the end of democracy in this country, either through a corporate oligarchy, which is already kind of happening, or through a Trump presidency, which is just a one-way ticket straight to the fucking bottom as quick as you can go. I think that's why we've dropped on the list. Now, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What's so funny is you think if Trump gets elected, we're all going down the shitter. Mm-hmm. We think if Biden is elected, we're all going down the shitter. Yeah. That's the part I don't understand. We started this podcast weeks ago, almost a year ago.
Way over a year ago.
To see if we could get not on the same page, but better. We're not. We're almost worse. As the election is coming closer, we're almost all worse.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever about being on the same page. For me, it was just about like talking to you guys again, because we know, like, we talk now, at least, I mean, barring like the last couple of weeks because of travel and stuff. We now get on a Zoom and talk to each other for an hour a week. To me, that's an improvement in our family.
Oh my God.
What do you mean, oh my God? Prior to this podcast, we did not talk this much.
I think you've done more damage than you have good.
I don't. Come on.
I'm not laughing.
I know you're not, but I don't believe that you think that's true. We do talk more now than we ever have.
He just gets mad.
You haven't changed the fucking thing.
I'm not trying to. The thing I'm trying to change is our interaction.
I've ever talked to.
You can insult me and all that shit. I know that it's your bread and butter, but the truth of the matter is this: we all now talk to each other for an hour a week, and that did not happen before this podcast.
Yeah, and it made it worse.
We didn't. Whoops. Where'd I go? We didn't talk we've never talked an hour a week.
And
now we do.
Trump might be talking about the auto industry. I'm talking about there will be blood.
Okay.
All right. We're getting to that a little bit later. Now, let me ask you the next part of this question. Haley, are you happy?
It's there's it's a hard question to answer because
Sure.
there are
Because
certainly
you're not.
times there are certainly times in my
Because you're
life
not.
where I am very happy, but there are also
Yeah.
times where I'm not. So if
You're
it's
full of
just a
shit, is what you are.
generalization, then yes, I would say yes, I am a relatively happy person.
Mhm.
We have a house, we can fucking eat food, we can pay the rent, we get to travel, my kids are healthy, like, all things considered, I would say I'm a relatively happy person.
All right, Mom, are you happy?
No. No.
Why not? What makes you unhappy?
All kinds of things going on in the world, stuff I see on TV, your father at times.
If you could change one of those things, whatever the contributors are to your unhappiness, if you could alter one of them and completely reverse it or fix it in whatever way you see best, what would it be? I heard Dad back there just go, Trump.
Just the world in general, I don't like. I don't like people are mean. They'll flip you off. I was afraid the other day, Dad honked at someone. I said, please don't do that. They might have a gun and they're going to effing shoot us.
Tell him what I told you.
People are just mean now.
Okay. You make people nicer.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Quit being a
I
pussy
think
has been, by the way, a slogan in this family for I don't know how long. It was how Haley and I were raised. And I
Our
remember the
entire
most
lives.
egregious use of it was when I had cancer in my face. And Mom, you said basically I was in a process over a period of 3 days where they were just carving more and more of my face out. And then they would send me home with gauze packed into a giant open wound on my face that at one point was so bad, it looked like Walking Dead. You could just see like skeleton teeth. I had no face. And you said to me, take the bandage off and let me see how bad it is. And I said, no, they told me to keep the bandage in. And you said, quit being a pussy.
I said, well, I meant, okay, this is kind of the Trump thing. Quit being a pussy and let me see it. And then when you
the doctors told me to not do
Please
that.
don't. Yeah.
Okay, I am your mother. And then when I
and you're
did
not a
see
doctor,
it,
so.
and then when I did see it, about passed out.
Are you dead?
I about passed out.
No,
It
I'm
was
fine.
terrible.
All
It was
right.
terrible.
So, Mom, you would make people nicer. Dad, are you a happy person? This would be an interesting answer.
I'm
Okay.
happy with me. I'll be happier when we take control of the country back.
Okay, so for you, it's purely political. That's what would make you happy.
100%.
Okay, interesting. What do you think could be done generally to make Americans happier on the whole? I know that we are living in a fractured society.
Quit paying them to be deadbeats.
You think that'll make them happier? Take money away?
Yes. If you have a job, make them go get a job and go to work. And if you don't get a job and go to work, you fucking die.
All right.
That's simple.
Okay.
I think universal health care would help.
Oh,
I
think a
agree.
lot of
right.
I think a lot of people they question whether or not they should go to the doctor for minor things that could potentially be major things because they can't afford it. So I think universal health care would make a huge difference.
Right.
I agree with you. Mom, what do you think could be done to make Americans happier? Dad says force people into labor.
Get rid of Biden, get somebody else in there that can give us jobs, that can get the economy going in the right direction so that they can buy houses, they can provide food on their table. Right now, people can't even buy food. I see more and more homeless people.
Yeah.
Help them.
That problem in Los Angeles is out of control at this point.
I know.
Yeah, it does seem like we are living through the decline of America. And I think, in my opinion, both Joe Biden and Donald Trump will contribute to that decline. One more than another, and one in a different way than the other.
How do you think Trump would contribute to the decline?
Like Haley's saying, radical erasure of civil rights, all kinds of personal enrichment. He has said he wants to be a dictator. He's going to get rid of democracy. Like, that is his goal. Make no mistake.
How about him getting rid of all of the illegals that we're giving $5,000 to coming into our country, and cell phones and jobs? Here you go.
I mean,
free health care. That could go to our Americans. That could go to people that have
you're
earned it.
Unhappy about no health care for veterans and people like that. Well, that's because it's free for the illegals. All
Okay,
10
sure.
million of them motherfuckers.
Right. I personally believe that if Donald Trump is elected, he will not leave. I think we have another Putin. I think we have a scenario where like
think you're
literal
full of shit.
democracy is gone. He's openly stated that's his goal. I
No,
believe
he
what he
said-
says.
He said for the first few days he's going to be a dictator, and he should be.
Okay.
It's the only way you're going to get rid of the fucking swamp. He's got to wipe out the DOJ.
He is the swamp.
FBI. He's
That's
got a
the
lot
thing
of
you don't
fucking
understand.
heavy lifting to do, and he
Uh-huh.
has to do it as a dictator. And there's no
I'm
doubt
honestly-
in my mind that when he's done putting the country back together,
Mhm.
everything will be fine.
Okay.
I think the school system is obviously going to change if Trump is elected. I
Yeah.
am thankful that the only one I have left is Harper, and she's going to be out, a couple years after he takes office. So maybe the trickle down won't fucking affect her. But the school systems are about to change if Trump is elected, and that is terrifying.
Oh, change to
For the
where
better.
a boy goes in the boy bathroom and a girl goes in the girl bathroom.
And where
If I
some
had
fat
children,
black girl beats up a white girl in Missouri.
crushes
That's
her
not
head in.
at all what I'm talking about. That's not
Yeah,
even what
we're
I'm
gonna
addressing.
Change that, motherfucker.
You know what? If I had children in
And there
school,
will be blood.
they would be at home homeschooled with me right now. I wouldn't allow.
I
my
agree.
children to
I
be
agree. I
in
think
public schools.
I think at this point that like we're getting to a point where there is no longer going to be a separation between church and state, and I think your only option is going to be homeschooling if you don't want your kids in a fucking super religious setting where they're teaching you shit that's not real.
Mm.
He, she, it, yeah.
You know what's
Teaching
real
that
about
stuff.
religion? Morality.
I'm not even talking about that.
It's
I'm not even
morality.
talking about that.
Yes,
Donald
he
Trump
just
said
did.
he
God,
wants
it's
to
about
make this.
morality. We
Donald
Wait.
Trump said he wants to make this a Christian nationalist
That's
country.
right.
Do you
Bring
know
back
what
the
that
morality.
means?
Character.
The
Bring back
morality.
character,
Let
morality.
me
Yeah,
let me
don't
ask you
have any
something.
morality,
You're
but
into you're
listen to
saying
you.
religions have morality and you're all pro having a religious state. Let me just point really quickly to another one. ISIS.
Ooh,
That's the exact
Ooh.
same thing. So you're
Ooh.
pro ISIS now?
woo.
They don't believe in the same
There's no
God.
such thing as ISIS.
They don't believe in the same God we believe in.
What? There's
But
no
they
such thing as
kill
ISIS.
in the name of their
No.
God.
What?
No
They
longer
just fucking
exists.
killed 137 people in Moscow.
No, they didn't. Those were Ukrainians.
Okay. No, he
All
called
right,
him something else,
so
not Ukraine.
Just
I-
complete
Ukrainians.
unwillingness to engage in that conversation. All right, let's move on to a
Ukrainians.
common ground. Simmer down. Monday, we record this podcast on Sunday mornings. Monday, there's a big event, at least in my life. It is the Bachelor Season 28 finale, which happens to air on the 22nd anniversary of the very first episode way back in 2002. Are you going to be watching it, Haley?
I regretfully do not watch The Bachelor, but if you think that we should watch it, I will watch it for you.
Do we
I
need?
would
yeah,
watch
do-
this episode. It is 3 hours long. It's on
Oh, God.
ABC. It will start
Out.
airing at what?
I'm out.
8/7 Central. It's interesting,
How-
Dad, that you won't watch this because, and I've tried to have this conversation with you before. I know as a little kid, I played baseball, football, whatever you told me to do, I did, and we practiced constantly, and you were like my coach essentially. I'm now doing that exact same role for people going into that show. I'm training people to infiltrate that game and play it as a coach.
So
That's
get
one of
your
the things
kids
that I
to
do.
watch it.
What's that?
Do you have
So if you're
players
gonna
that
follow
are
my
in it
suit,
right
get
now?
your kids to watch it.
I cannot divulge how far my players made it in this season. They may still be in the game, but I have coached players in the last 3 seasons, including this
Well,
one.
Get your kids to watch it.
So how
My
important
kids.
is
What's that?
this
Yeah.
for you?
Oh wait, you don't have any.
How important is this for incredibly?
For you.
Part of my financial life is tied to the show as I do another podcast called Game of Roses.
How?
What are you my other podcast, Game of Roses.
I know that, but how is the TV show going to get you funds if we just watch it?
If people watch the TV show, then the podcast gets bigger. If the TV show gets bigger, the podcast gets bigger. And right now it's going through a kind of renaissance. This past season 28
And they
has
get bigger.
exploded in ratings in a way that it hasn't for the last 5 years, largely because from our podcast, we now just like Fox News kind of controls Donald Trump, we have a similar relationship with the show. Things we say and suggestions we give in the show are implemented in the show, and we are acknowledged in the show in one way or another. Certain visual cues that are put in the show that are clear references to us to say, we hear you. And I also have, I'll simply say, certain concrete knowledge that that's the case.
Tell me in advance the time. I'll watch it.
All right, what?
Thank you.
Yeah, what time? What network? I'll watch it.
Here
It's
we go.
Monday night, ABC. I don't know what time it airs where you are. It's 7 Central, I believe. But
Tell
look
me-
up your things. And this is the finale, so it's down to the last 2 players.
Tell me
Joey,
who
our
I'm
bachelor, is
looking
going to select
for.
one of them.
Is it the black girl, or was that last year's?
The 2 finalists of this season are both white. Kelsey Anderson and Daisy Kent.
Daisy Kent. Okay.
And Joey Graziadei is the bachelor.
I watched it one season, and there was a pretty black girl, and I thought she was the one picking.
They've had black bachelorettes before, yes.
Okay, maybe that was last season.
Yeah, I would just be curious to know what you guys think of it, as it has become a giant part of my life. And I know, Dad, you roll your eyes at it and all that stuff, but watch one episode. That's all I'm asking.
Just 3 hours of your life. We can do
You
that.
don't need me to watch it. If Mom's watching it, it'll be on our record.
No, I want you to view the document. I want you to see the show and have some opinion on
Is
it.
your name? Will your name be on it?
No, I don't think our name will be on it. I could see maybe basically what happened in Charity Lawson's season 20 of The Bachelorette. There was one shot where they were doing an episode called The Men Tell All, which is kind of a reunion show that they do before the finale, where they bring back all the guys she's kicked off and they get to talk to her and whatever. There was a shot where they cut out to the audience and there's a woman holding up a sign that says DLP, and it's a shot of an image of the host with glowing red eyes, and there's fire under him.
It's your meme.
Yeah, it was one of my memes for my Instagram account, basically. And the letters DLP are what we call the host on our show, Dark Lord Palmer. So it was a visual acknowledgement that, yes, we hear you, and here, we'll put this in here. So there may be something like that, because part of the finale is a live in studio kind of event.
Do you know who's going to win already?
No, I do not. Now,
oh, that
thank
was
you for indulging.
Maybe he does.
Thank you for indulging.
He's lying.
I hope you enjoyed the Bachelor finale. Everyone should watch it. Probably everybody who listens to this would be listening to Game of Roses anyway. Yeah, I'd be curious. That show's a huge part of my life, and I would like you all to at least indulge it once. That's all I ask. Now let's move on to our next topic, the Trump bloodbath. Last Saturday at a rally in Ohio, Trump said there would be a, quote, bloodbath if he's not reelected in November. The comments came at a rally during a speech discussing the possibility of an increasing trade war with China over auto manufacturing. Here's the entire quote, because I don't want to take this out of context or anything. I'm going to do the entire quote. If you're listening, President Xi, you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal. Those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, you're going to not hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. In a response to the former president's comments, Trump campaign spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt told NBC News, quote, Biden's policies will create an economic bloodbath for the auto industry and auto workers. What was the bloodbath that Trump was talking about here, Mom? Do you believe it was that Biden's policies are going to create an economic bloodbath? Do you think that's what he meant when he said it's going to be a bloodbath if he's not elected?
You know what's weird? I believe a little bit of both. I do believe it's the economy that he was talking about, but I also believe they are not, he and all the patriots and all the MAGA, we're not going to let him steal this election.
Okay.
If one way or another,
he's not up to Trump.
One way or
It's up
another,
to us.
we'll get it back.
Okay.
And I believe
Hold
this.
it.
I believe Trump
Don't yell.
believes it was all about cars,
Mhm.
but I believe that MAGAs believe it's about shooting Democrats.
Okay. And do you think that Trump knows that Majahs think it's about shooting Democrats?
I think he has a good instinct that they're going to take arms and We're either here's all you got to know.
Mm.
Trump's going to be president either by vote
Mhm.
or force.
But do you think then that he's fanning the flames? Basically, that's the question that I was getting
Yes.
at. Okay. You think he's
Yes.
purposely riling his base
I
up
don't think
for
he's
violence?
doing it. No, I disagree with that.
Yes.
He's not purposely doing it, but he is, by the fact that he's saying, you know, we've got to do something or we're going to have a bloodbath in the auto industry. I think he is actually telling MAGA that it's okay.
To kill.
Yes, take it by force.
Okay. And you
And
believe,
we will kill.
and you think that that
You
is
bet your fucking boots we will kill.
okay. So that's illegal.
No,
Presidents can't do that. That's what
He's
he's
not
in trouble for on
president.
January 6th.
he's not a president.
Someone running
He's
can't do it either.
inciting violence.
He's not inciting violence. He said it's going to be a bloodbath on the auto industry.
Mhm.
He
He
did
has
not.
no control. Hey, first of all, you
Don't
two
yell.
are
Don't
totally
yell.
stupid if you think Donald Trump now controls MAGA. He no longer does. We are fucking fed up, and it doesn't matter whether Trump tells us lay your arms down and be nice. We're
Mhm.
not gonna be.
All right, let's say Trump dies. Let's say that Joe Biden takes a page out of Putin's book and kills Trump, which you think is a viable form of political discourse.
Right,
Let's say he does that.
right.
What happens to your vote in that case?
My vote goes to whoever's the Republican Party. It doesn't matter what my
Okay.
vote is, dumbass. If they shoot Trump,
Mhm.
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, they won't live 10 minutes.
All right.
We'll kill them all.
Yeah. So do you, Mom? Well, let me ask you, Haley, do you think he was talking about the auto workers or do you think, or the auto
No.
industry, or you think he was saying basically like, go kill people in my name?
Yeah, he was saying if I lose, go ape shit.
Okay.
100% that's what he was saying. And then his fucking press had to cover his ass by saying, no, auto
Yeah.
industry.
Right. Mom, do you want a president who threatens bloodbaths?
Well, I don't think he. Okay. Yes, I want him. Yes, there we go.
Okay. Dad, I know you like the bloodbaths. Haley, do you think that
I promote it.
yeah, clearly metal hits the meat. We know the phrasing. Do you think that like if you heard another president say this or any leader of any country that there's going to be a bloodbath if I'm not reelected,
Yeah.
do you think that that's like the kind of discourse in a modern human world that any world leader should be engaged in?
No. He's fucking I hate Donald Trump.
Need to see.
I cannot believe that he is the Republican candidate. Like I couldn't believe it the first time around. And then he
Yeah.
fucking got elected. And now he's saying shit like this.
Yeah, a
And
dictator
it's fucking
bloodbath.
crazy.
Barn at
Like
one.
it's fucking crazy. Not in a million
chewing
years
is
did I think that this would be the country that we live in. And it's fucking insane.
How can you be
It's
running
insane.
Sunday morning?
What is Dad doing there? He's having other conversations. What's happening?
Oh, we got a barn issue that Mom's trying to resolve on the phone.
It's no big deal.
If you have 15 minutes to just resolve it after that, I would appreciate
Well,
I will.
actually, we don't because
There's
we
a
gotta
big
be there
storm
at 1
coming.
o'clock.
Okay, it's okay. Hush.
it. We only have one more. I have a
Okay.
couple questions here about
Yeah,
the
well,
bloodbath,
these
and then
people
we
are
have one more
trying
thing.
to move the time,
Hush.
and we can't let them do it.
We're fine.
Okay,
Jesus
so when he
Christ.
says these things, Dad, you've already kind of intimated that you would say yes to this. Do you think he's like actively preparing his supporters for another January 6th type event? If he doesn't win,
Oh,
what will that look
absolutely
like?
not. It won't be January 6th.
Mhm.
It'll be a hell of a lot worse.
Do you think there are like militias and shit right now getting weapons ready for
Yes.
this?
100 fucking
Yes.
percent.
Yes.
Are
Yes.
you? Are
100
you part of
fucking
one of them?
percent.
Yep.
And half of them are your U.S. military.
I don't
You think the U.S. military will
I don't
turn
think
against
so.
itself, basically?
Yes, 100%.
No.
All right.
Looking a little crazy now.
Interesting.
There's a
Have you
whole lot of maggots in the military.
Calm
have you
down.
guys seen the trailer for that movie Civil War?
Civil
No,
War.
but it looks good. It looks pretty good.
Okay, I'm definitely going to see
Looks
it. I think we
scary.
probably all will. Then maybe we can discuss it. All right, well, let's move on here. Our final topic is Biden is destroying Trump where it matters, the wallet. Donald Trump doesn't have the money to match the Democrats what they're expected to spend against him in the presidential campaigns coming up. Trump is holding fewer of his expensive signatures.
He could have $17 billion and it ain't gonna make any difference.
Trump is holding fewer of his expensive signature rallies. He's ramping up his fundraising, but trying to play down his legal bills. And Democrats are about to outspend him many times over on television ads. Biden and the Democratic National Committee ended last month with $97.5 million cash on hand, more than double what Trump's campaign has. And the Republican National Committee, more than double, what Trump and the RNC have put together already since March 6th, the day after Super Tuesday. Biden and his super PAC have spent nearly $6 million combined on ads, while Trump and his super PAC have spent just under $1.5 million. Trump, meanwhile, has been forced to divert tens of millions of dollars to pay for his legal expenses, and his campaign has taken steps in recent weeks to slash costs, starting the general election at a massive financial disadvantage. Mom, why do you think Trump can't raise money like the Democrats can?
Because the Democrats are trying to steal it from him in dumb lawsuits.
doesn't need it.
And, excuse me, I think it was 2016 when Miss Hillary had more money than Trump, who won that election.
Is that true?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna Google that.
By a
Go
mile.
Google that.
By a mile.
I would ask Alexa, but you know what? Our Alexa has turned
Woke.
woke.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Our Alexa's woke.
Amazon's
What do you
woke.
mean?
She just doesn't
do you
answer
mean?
stuff correctly anymore.
What do you mean?
She answered something the other day. We were like, what?
She won't even answer some questions if they're left, if they're right wing.
Uh-huh.
She won't answer.
Mm-hmm.
She'll go,
Example.
I don't have that information.
I forget what we asked her the other day. And she
And
goes,
she-
I don't have that information.
I'm looking at this Hillary Clinton thing. The thing I'm looking at, which is from the Washington Post, says that Hillary Clinton had about $1.4 billion raised to Trump's $957.6 million. So she did have
More money.
half a billion.
$450 million more dollars, basically.
Yeah.
And Trump beat her.
And
Right. Okay. So you don't think it means anything then?
no,
This
No.
deficit is
Zero.
much larger than
Doesn't
that
matter.
deficit, but
Doesn't matter. What's he gonna do? Put on some more KKK shit with Donald Trump in the picture?
No, Trump will just sell more shoes and more cologne.
right. Have you guys donated to Trump other than buying shoes and cologne?
No.
Have you
Not
given
yet.
just like
Well,
a straight
yes,
money
we
donation?
have.
Yeah, we have. We
But
gave-
How much have
not
you
lar-
donated?
No, we're not telling you that. Not large amounts, but some.
Oh yeah, we
Hundreds,
bought-
thousands, tens of
No.
thousands?
No,
No.
not a lot.
He's not dependent on one person.
I'm a
like-
door
like
knocker.
Joe Biden is.
I'm a volunteer. We're
George
volunteers.
Soros.
We've
Okay,
got
so you
signs
donate time.
out. We are not. We are not now.
We
No.
probably put
We are.
enough money in his pocket that we're more than
We are one house of
Significant.
three or four now on the block that has Trump signs out.
Mhm.
We're not the only one.
No, of
One
course.
of the-
Oklahoma.
One of the people down the road is a colonel,
Mhm.
a retired colonel. So there's more people now that are putting signs out for
In
Trump.
Oklahoma.
Well, yeah, he'll win
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Is that now when you think back to 2016, was it a similar amount of people putting out those signs or no?
no, just us.
No, not as many.
Okay.
Mm-mm. I see a lot more.
Yeah.
There
It's
are
gonna be an
more
interesting
people
one.
now supporting Trump in our neighborhood than
Mhm.
ever before.
Mm-hmm.
But do you
Mm.
think that his ability, Haley, I'll ask you this, then we'll go around with it. Do you think that this is in any way, I know that we just looked at the Hillary Clinton thing, but that was at the end of that election year. That was up through the end of December.
Mhm.
We are a long way from the end of December at this point, leading into these elections and stuff. Do you think that this is in any way a bad sign that for Trump, that he's not able to get these donations? Like, this isn't just, oh, we're a little lower. They're significantly lower than they were in his original campaign at this point.
I mean, it's a good indicator. I certainly hope that's what it means.
Mhm.
I think fewer people have faith in him than did, around 2016. I think
Yeah.
that his numbers aren't as strong. I think he's way too radicalized for the Republican that maybe would have voted for
got
him
something to
back
say.
then.
Wait till she's done.
And now it's taking his audience is radical, and if you're not, then they're gone. They're not going to vote
I
for him.
completely agree with you. I do think that there was a kind of morbid curiosity. There was a chaos factor in 2016. There was maybe on the Republican side like he's the Republican candidate and maybe he'll be a good president. I do think
Right.
that he got some votes in that arena, like, well, let's see, fuck it. I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Let's see. I think
Mhm.
those votes are gone. I think the give it
Yeah.
a try votes are completely gone. We know what we're going to get with him, and I agree with you. I think the only people that are voting for him are like you and Mom.
No,
Dad.
I think his campaign and all his people are.
Is that why he leads the race in all the swing states?
Yeah, they are planning their strategy. If they do have less money, they're going to use it the correct way.
On his legal
not what-
bills.
What?
On his legal bills. The
Right.
correct
Don't
way.
need to. He's already got the money for old fat ass
That he shouldn't even. That
the
he
big black ass.
that he shouldn't even have to be paying. Exactly.
Why shouldn't
He's
he
gonna
have
be
to
fine.
pay?
Because that's all a witch
Because he's not
hunt.
guilty
We don't
of
even wanna,
anything.
we don't even want to go into all that.
New York's going to do it. I just read an article the other day. 62% of people living in New York say they're going to leave the state within the next 5 years.
Okay.
Same
Wonder
with,
why.
probably same with LA. Chad, you got to get out of there.
I like LA.
Well, good. You just
You gotta
love it
get
while
out
it
of there.
melts down around you.
Got to get out of there.
Okay. So
You'll be pulling the trigger on somebody sooner or later.
All right.
Or they'll be doing it on you.
Sure. And so basically my question, I don't know how that became the conversation. We're talking about Trump's lack of donations, lack of funding.
Well, really,
and somehow it
that's
comes to you're now
totally wrong about
prophesying that I will murder or be murdered.
long time before the election. You just
Yeah.
wait and watch that differential shrink.
It may. I'm
Oh,
simply
it
bringing
ain't
up what
gonna
the number
may,
is
it
now.
will.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the number now is lower than it was in 2016, and the
So
Democrats are
what?
blowing him out of the water with this money.
All right, I don't want to talk anymore. I love you, Chad. I love you, Haley. I love you, Mary Lou.
He's tapping
Goodbye.
out. It's a tap out.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
come on, don't be a pussy.
I'm done.
Don't be a pussy. Don't
Last
tap
thing-
out yet.
Last thing in the world I am is a pussy.
I don't know. You bail out of these conversations just at a fucking drop of a hat.
There's no point in having
If you can't even have a conversation with
The
your own
waste of
family,
fucking-
how are you
Okay.
going to be a soldier in
That
Trump's
he is.
army when the Civil War comes?
It's a fight. It's what it is. It's a waste of my valuable time.
Okay.
My apologies. I don't mean to waste your time. As always, this is at will. You can come and go as you please. But I guess that's the end of the show. Well, thanks everyone for
Tap out.
joining us. Again, if you have a question that you want to send in to us, please record it in a 1 minute or shorter audio format and send it to thenecessaryconversationpod at gmail.com. I have gotten a few emails of people wanting to come on the show with us. I think I'm gonna try to figure out some other way to do it. I'm not sure that it's like going to be a fan from the show. I think I kind of want to have a third party. I'm trying to get like a local politician, some kind of state senator or something like that. Might be interesting. But it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to do, to book all of these people and organize it and all that. So I'm still working on it. If any of you want to do this, Mom or Haley, I know Dad is now gone in his whatever
He
he's doing.
tapped out. He tapped out.
Yeah, reclaiming his special time.
I'm watching basketball.
If either of you want to do this, if you want to try and get Beto O'Rourke or even anybody from his cabinet on this show, anybody from his political apparatus, I'm down.
Okay.
I think that could be pretty fun.
Okay.
Anyway, we're working on that. Thank you everyone for joining us. And before we go, as always, Mom, I love you. Haley, I love you. Dad, wherever you are, I love you and your special time.
Mom, I
Chad,
love
I
you.
love you.
Dad, I love you. Are we going together? What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. Who we going?
Dad, I
first?
love you.
Dad,
Mom, I
love
love
you.
you. Chad, I love you.
Chad, I love you. Haley, I love you. Bob, I love you.
All right.
I'm
hopefully,
going to Madonna. I'm going to Madonna tomorrow night.
Where's
watch
she
out
at?
for those Ukrainian terrorists.
Where's she at?
American Airlines Center.
Oh wow. Oh gosh.
It's like her whole body of work. It's like
Nice.
all of her hits.
It's really her performing?
Yes. What?
Hope
Yeah.
She's old. I hope she makes it through everything okay.
Well, everybody out there, stay safe. And like Madonna says, express yourself.
Oh God, Chad, that was a good one. And watch The Bachelor on Monday.
That's right. See you next week.
Bye.
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 Express yourself.
You don't care.